This is the greatest dynasty in Florida high school baseball history. 5 straight 7A state championships, dozens of D1 commits, MLB draft picks, and today we're diving deep with the man behind it all, Todd Fitz-Gerald. We're pulling back the curtain on leadership, culture, and exactly how championship teams are built. It is an absolute honor to welcome Fitz to the show. Coach, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, Ian? Thanks for having me, man. This is awesome. Good to talk to you. It's been a couple weeks, so thanks for asking me to be on. Looking forward to today for sure.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor to have you here, man. The historic run that you guys have been on, 5 straight state championships. It's incredible. You have surpassed legendary status, right? I'll say it. The stuff that you guys have been able to do this season, and just building on an incredible run is amazing, man. We'll get into all that. But I'd like to talk a little bit about the mindset, and kind of how you've been leading from the fourth, like just from the front, man. What's changed most for you guys over like this 5 year incredible run that you've been on?
I just think it's the it's the teams that graduate and the teams that become seniors and the sophomores that become juniors and the freshmen that become sophomores. I think it's just the legacy that has been laid by previous teams. So the next team doesn't want to let the next team down, if that makes sense. And, obviously, you can't do that if you don't have really talented players, right? I mean, you got to have players. I mean, let's call it what it is. But we've been very lucky to have some really talented players at some really critical positions on the field that have waited their turn and have embraced it. And have been through it through the years and understands what the program's about, what we stand for, what we believe in. And, we wouldn't be able to do it without those guys.
For sure. So we talk about motivation.
Yep.
We talk about shooting for excellence. Okay. We have guys on the team that have won multiple championships, have already won it all, man. How do you consistently motivate guys to strive for more, keep competing, keep getting after it?
I think the motivation comes from the way we practice and the way that the players push each other to get better every day, because we're different than most. Like I'm 2 deep, some 3 deep at every position. So it's constant competition every day in practice. So if a guy takes his foot off the gas, then the next guy gets an opportunity. And it might just be just to send a message to the guy that's, your starter, but sometimes he needs to be redirected. And, if he's taking a day off at practice because we're preparing for, a 3-game week, and he takes a day off, then that's one day that he didn't allow himself to get better and allowed the other guy to get better. And, you got to kind of reward that a little bit for those guys that put the work in. So I just think the motivation really comes from within the program, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm a practice coach, right? I love practice. Game day is their day. Kind of let them do what they want on game day. I always tell them, don't make me coach today. You've been prepared all week at practice. So, as long as they do the things that we need them to do every day in practice, then, no matter who we play, we're going to be prepared for anything that can occur in a game. There hasn't been anything that has occurred in a game that we have not, over the years, I'm saying, that we haven't prepared for or practiced for, if that makes sense.
What's going on, everybody? We as baseball players, we as athletes, we all have something in common that we all share with one another. At some point, our careers are going to come to an end, whether we play 15 years in the league or whether we don't make it past high school or college. This is called the Money Playbook. So this teaches financial concepts for student athletes, for professional athletes. It's got a bunch of financial concepts in there that I didn't learn until I was done playing. Go on over to Amazon and check it out. It's called the Money Playbook. It's written by Mark Tepper, who is an NFLPA registered investment advisor. So he has worked with a plethora of professional athletes. Like I said, go to Amazon. We'll leave the link in the bio in the description of this episode. It's a must-have. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Absolutely, man. That's powerful. Having a deep bench and having talent on the bench, hungry, ready to get in there and push the guys, set the standard, challenge those guys, especially in practice, breeds just winning culture, right? We talk about teams that are able to put forth winning seasons and excellence year after year. Dude, take a look at what the practice looks like, right? Man, we'll get into it a little bit about what we've done behind the scenes, man. But I'm just talking about showing up to Zooms, right? How you handle certain situations when no one's looking, man. Just the stuff that you guys have done behind the scenes, the commitment to excellence. If you want to perform at a high level, man, it just goes up. It just goes to show. Kind of how you carry yourself when no one's looking behind the scenes in practice, you're able to achieve at a high level when it really matters, man. I love that.
Well, I told you when we met, when I met you in the fall, it might have been or right at the end of the summer when we met. Um, Anything I can do that's going to give our team a little bit more of an advantage to help us be successful, I'm going to take advantage of. And that's one of the main reasons why I went with you, because I think we were saying the same thing, and I like what you had to say. And then for what you did from the fall till the end of the spring with our guys, I mean, you're part of this too. At least this year, you're part of this too, and you had a big influence on those guys. And for them to step up on a Sunday morning every Sunday in the fall, when they could have been doing something else, and they were there, they were attentive, and I think that was critical. I really do. I think that was one of the main things for us to get to where we were, because of those talks that you had with them on those Sunday mornings.
Appreciate that, Fitz, man. That means a ton. If you ever wonder what it takes, man, I mean, we're talking about the off season, Sunday mornings, perfect attendance, over and over and over again, talking about the mental game, man. I love it, Fitz, man. When we talk about excellence and performing at a high level, let's talk about the difference between like good teams and great teams. Okay, like what is the biggest difference that you see between the two?
Well, I just think the chemistry, number one, and you can have way. I've had way more talented teams than the team that I had this year. Way more talented, but when those guys come together as a unit, and no matter whether they're in school, whether they're out hanging out, at the beach or whatever, or on game day, man, when you see the bond that they have, and like, for instance, our starting pitcher, right, goes out, doesn't have a really good day. Well, the guy that's coming in behind him, he's going to pick that guy up, right? Or my shortstop Torres not having a very good day. Well, the guys on the bench are going to try and redirect him to get his head on the right, in the right position, so he can have success that day, instead of feeling sorry for himself because he kicked the ball or he struck out with runners on second and third and didn't get the job done, right? So it's just kind of redirecting those guys, and they do a really good job of keeping each other engaged. They were a different group, man. They were really loose all the time, sometimes too much to my standard, but that was the makeup and the mentality of the team. They never feared anybody. I can tell you that. Like, the bigger the game, the more that they wanted it. You know what I mean? They turned it up another notch, and that says a lot about kids, man. Because today, all kids want is instant gratification, man. They don't understand the process of how it works. It's a process. Sometimes you just got to wait your turn. But with all this portal going on stuff, kids jumping here, jumping there, transferring schools, 5 schools in 5 years of high school, like. I'm really lucky that I very rarely lose a kid to another program because he hasn't played or unhappy. So, I mean, I've lost a couple, don't get me wrong, but very rarely does it happen.
I love it, man. I love it. So the all-encompassing baseball development process is amazing for kids, for young men, and getting them ready for the next level, whatever that looks like, man, because it teaches them that failure's coming, man. That's all part of the game. And life and baseball, man, it's not necessarily fair. It's all about continuing to grind and have resilience and have grit, all that good stuff, man. Beyond baseball skills, okay? Bunting, running, hitting, catching, all that good stuff. What do you emphasize that like most programs just straight overlook?
Emotional maturity. Emotional maturity. And I told you early in the year too, like, we were an immature team, but had experience, just emotional maturity. And it goes back to how do you deal with the failure? How do you deal with the success? Do you celebrate success? Do you embrace the failure, or do you turn that negative into a continual negative? How do you take that negative and make it a positive, right? So just constantly talking to those guys about, man, guys, this game's really hard. It's really, really flipping hard. And it's probably one of the hardest things you're ever going to do in competitive sports. Hitting a baseball, traveling at 90 to 97 miles an hour with a different angle and a different shape, and seeing 3 or 4 arms a game and seeing 4 different guys in a game, it's hard. Like I don't expect you to be successful every time, but what I do expect is that you compete every single pitch and you give your best effort. And if you don't do that, then you lack emotional maturity, you know? So, I think that's one of the biggest staples that we've really talked about is being mature in everything that you do. When I'm talking to them at the end of the game, lock in for 2 minutes, just pay attention to what's going on. Listen to the message, so I think that's important. Don't be so quick to respond when coach criticizes or tries to give you some redirection. Just, yes, coach, I'll do better. That's it. That's all I want to hear. I'll do better. I got it. No excuses, no palms up. No, none of this, my bad, my bad, coach. Yeah, I know it's your bad. It's not my bad. I'm not playing. It's your bad. Like, fix it. Got it, So I think one thing I'll tell you is, like, in the state championship game, and Eric Torres, our shortstop, as you know, was really, really good for us this year. Like, defensively, he's unbelievable. He made 2 errors in the state championship game, and everyone on the team was looking for me to just absolutely get on him, and I didn't. That's the biggest game of the year. I wanted him to know that I had confidence in him. I didn't say a word to him when he came off the field. I always said, let's go. Come on. You're all right. Let's go. Let's go get it. Now, if it's game 2 of the regular season, it's probably a different story, right? Game 2 of the regular season is probably a different story. State championship game, I'm not making him any more uneasy or uncomfortable than he already was. I'm not doing it. So.
Love it, man. Makes sense to me.
Reverse psychology.
At a high level.
Yeah, reverse psychology. I don't know. Something.
Yeah. And that's amazing, right? That's the overall all-encompassing player development process. And obviously, man, you've been able to do that at a high level for a number of years now, especially consecutively. It's incredible, man. Parents play a big time role in this, the baseball development, player development process, man. They're there throughout all of the grinds, man, all the games. I love it. Man, what is something that maybe parents or, players even might misunderstand about true baseball development, man? What do you got?
I just think, again, parents, a lot of parents live off of the success of their kid, right? And man, when they go 3 for 3, boy, they're all in. But when they go 0 for 4, they run and hide. Like, your kid already has it hard enough because he's wearing our uniform. Those are the times when you need to put your arm around and say, hey, it's okay, man. Tomorrow's another day. Like, we won the game. Like, don't worry about it. It's a process. It's a process. Instead of saying, man, I feel sorry. I'm sorry, coach. I let you in the program. No, you didn't let me down. Your kid didn't let me down. That's baseball. Like, it takes more than one person to lose a game, more than one person to win a game. But parents just need to be patient and understand, like, this is a process. They're going to go 0 for 3. They're going to go 4 for 4. They're going to have ebbs and valleys throughout the course of their careers. You can't hang on every single at bat that your child has. And, if you're going to post the good stuff, then you might as well post the bad stuff too, right? If you're going to post Johnny going 4 for 4 with 2 bombs, you better post Johnny striking out with the bases loaded as well, right? Or don't post at all.
That's right.
So, it's a process. That's all I can tell you. It's a process, and it's hard, and it's, we have certain things that we believe in offensively, certain things that we do defensively. We have certain rules that apply for every situation. Like, this is a must do. Like, you must do this at this time. Uh, so we have rules that we have to follow on the baseball field as far as, how the game is being played and dictated. Not necessarily rules like, hey, clean your room or not, but rules like we have certain things, the contact play, the 1 out rule, bases loaded, no secondary rule. Why is that? Well, we don't do secondaries bases loaded with no outs because we want to go back on a line drive.
Yeah.
Right?
What's the
One out,
point?
it's different. 1 out, it's a different story. If I don't take secondaries, I'm not getting double off on a line drive. We're tagging on foul balls. Like, certain rules that are must that the kids already know in their mind. Like this is what we're doing. But these are things that we put in the fall, and we rep it and we rep it and we rep it and we rep it and we rep it. And baseball, it's all about repetition. We do the same thing every day of practice, Ian. The same thing every single day of practice.
Seriously.
Yeah, until the playoffs start. And then and believe it or not, I back off in the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the secret to success right there. Just repetition and just doing the boring vanilla stuff until you basically can't get it wrong.
Every day. I don't even put a practice plan on the board. The kids know like what we're doing every single day. And they're like, all right, guys, bunt defense, here we go. First and third, here we go. Base running, here we go. Cuts and relays, here we go. Position fundamentals, here we go. PFPs, here we go. Special pickoffs, here we go. But man, it's like a well-oiled machine, and we spend a majority of that time in the fall just, trying to get that well-oiled machine clicking on all cylinders.
That's right.
It's
You
not
got to really love it, man.
Yeah. The kids got to love it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. You got to really love it to be able to show up and just consistently go through it, right? And just over and over, man. So we talk about just not just physical attributes being able to contribute to success on the baseball field, right? We've talked at length and we've worked at length, right? Both off season and in season on this mental game. Okay. How has prioritizing the mental game changed your leadership style or the culture within your program, a dominant dynasty?
I think, again, this credit goes to you with those talks. So, but it's helped me understand how you're trying to get into their mind as what you're doing for their mental mindset. And for me, coaching third or coaching the game or managing the game, how to handle myself internally. So they know that Coach Fitz isn't out of control, man. He's cool, calm, and collected. Like, sudden change happens in a game, right? We kick a ball, 2-run score, we walk a guy, double off, or whatever. First thing they're going to do is look and see how I react, right? Well, coach is under control. We're good. Like, come on, man, let's go. We got to just keep playing. Now, there are sometimes where I'll go out and get on the pitchers because, they'll miss a pickoff sign or, things that kids do. But I always tell them you only get one opportunity in a game to execute something when it's called, and you need to be on point when it's called. And if you don't, then we haven't done a good enough job, or I haven't done a good enough job in practice putting you in that stressful situation in order to do that. So, I always kind of I got to look back in the mirror myself too sometimes and say, hey, man, okay, well, did I really hold them accountable here? Did I spend enough time on this particular thing? And then, once we get to the playoffs, like there are things that I took out of our offensive system that we just weren't really good at. So I scrapped it and I just focused on what we were really good at down the stretch. And I took some things out and I just simplified things. I didn't overcomplicate things. I really simplified it down, and I think it helped us.
It's amazing. Baseball is so hard, dude. Being a dominant, successful baseball player, coach, team, dynasty is even harder, right? Why would we make it even more difficult? Just simplify, right, man? I mean, it's we talk about success leaving clues or breadcrumbs. Guys, here it is. Right, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I absolutely love it. This is a masterclass. Again, we're here with head coach Todd Fitz-Gerald. Skip, I'm grateful, man, for the time, the kind words, obviously the insight into this dominant run that you guys are just getting started on. Right, it's just 5 now. Let's see how long this goes for, man. Let's quadruple it. Right, it's amazing, Coach. I'd love to ask you a couple questions here moving forward, man, on some advice for coaches, for players, for parents, man. What would be your number one message to other high school coaches looking to build something special like you've done?
I think number one, I think you have to have really good stability in your coaches that you choose in your coaching staff. I'm blessed. I've got unbelievable stability in my coaching staff. Like, we're all friends. We all hang out. I have a guy for a position coach for every position. Like I'm really blessed that way. Like, my coaches we're like brothers, right? You got to have good administration at the top, obviously, that supports what you're doing. They got to have your back, and you got to have an athletic director that supports you as well. And then for us in the public school, our booster club does a great job handling everything outside of the fence, right? So I don't have to worry about fundraising. I don't have to worry about the kids doing the booster club handles that, where the kids can just focus on practice, play. We give them, we get all the best stuff for them, whatever, so they look good. But they only have to focus on between the lines. So I think that's really important. And the other thing is, like, message for the parents is, like, don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. Well, he needs to be on varsity. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He can be on varsity at the school across the street and probably be a starter as a freshman. That's not going to happen here. If you start in our program as a freshman, you're pretty good. Okay. But yeah, he can go over there and play as a freshman, no doubt about it. He's good enough. But is he going to develop? Is he going to get coached? Is he going to get pushed every day to be a really, really good baseball player person after they graduate? Or is it just about you, so you can have the status quo of him saying, hey, my son plays varsity baseball as a freshman? Like, that's the wrong message. You're putting the wrong message into the kid, because all you're doing is setting them up for failure. And they're never going to be able to achieve what they really want to achieve. And it's just more so the parent saying, hey, my kid plays varsity as a freshman. Well, that's all well and good, but we beat that school 400-3 in the last 10 years. Like, go play over there. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. So, so parents just got to understand the process as well.
I
They have to understand the process as well, because we do have the best intentions for the kids and where we think they best fit in the program. You just got to believe in us. And, most 98% do. And you always have 2 or 3% that, think they're, above and beyond everything else that you're doing. So you just got to, it's never the kid, though. It's never the kid, ever. Always the parent. It's never the kid.
That makes sense. So we right now, with where we're at, man, it is a hot time for the transfer portal, for some recruiting, for some summer ball, for getting seen. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're always aiming for something, man. We want to get seen. We want to get better. We want to develop, get 1% better every day, man. I get it. Oftentimes, Fitz, as you know, man, a lot of these guys can feel overlooked. Right? Under-recruited, undersized even. That's what the 9-hole was built on, right? The underdogs, okay? Yep. Guys that haven't had anything handed to them, and for those players feeling overlooked, okay? Under-recruited, undersized, undervalued, all that good stuff, man. What would you tell them?
There's still a place. But here's the thing. And I have a few of those guys on my summer program, and I think we had 5 of them this weekend get actually – scouted by some college guys, which was really good. Understand where you are as a player. Are you an SEC guy? Probably not, right? But you also have to be willing to lead the state of Florida. There's a lot of beautiful areas in this country to play college baseball. South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, the Midwest. Like, We're actually taking our kids to Indiana. I told you earlier, Indiana, Ohio State, Dayton for 10 to 15 days next week. We're taking them all to team camps, and they're all uncommitted guys. So we're just trying to give them a different landscape of that. There is beautiful places outside the state of Florida to play baseball. That's first and foremost. If a kid tells you he doesn't want to leave Florida to play baseball, he really doesn't love baseball enough to want to go play. I went 3,000 miles away from Florida. I went to Yavapai, Arizona, junior college in Prescott, Arizona. and 1990 and didn't know a person, not a soul. My dad put me on an airplane and said, "Don't come home till Christmas." Yes, sir. Right? I figured it out. I wanted to play baseball. That was the only option I had. The only option. Okay. And it worked out. I ended up having a good career. I played at a small Division II school in Cumberland Gap in Harrogate, Tennessee, Lincoln Memorial University. Had the best time of my life. Small school, was a big fish in a small pond, and made the most of it and had a great career. These kids, or the parents, don't want these kids, or they're too naive to understand that there's so much more out there than just USF, Stetson, Jacksonville, the Florida Southerns and St. Leo's of the world in Florida, that maybe they're just not good enough to play at those high-end schools, but there is a spot for you to go play. And I believe there's a spot for everybody to play college baseball if they're willing to do it. That's the biggest key, the word if. Okay, and if you got to question that, then your heart's not really in it.
I love that. I love that, man. It comes down to how bad you really want it.
That's right.
How bad
That's
do you
right.
want it, man? And
Right.
it makes a ton of sense. You'll rise up to the occasion if that's what you need to do, man. So we've talked about the stuff that you guys are doing and utilizing behind the scenes that makes you guys different. We got some advice to coaches, the next generation, man. As we wrap up here, Fitz, a couple more questions I got for you, man. What is one thing, sticking on the baseball parent topic, that these parents need to stop doing immediately to help their kids succeed?
Sending them to every single showcase in the country, paying $150 an hour for their kids to go to a batting coach, paying $100 an hour for them to go to a pitching coach, right? Just if now, again, our program's different, right? So we believe in what we do. Okay, I understand if they're at a program where there's no coaching and you got to get extra training for your child, right, to be successful. But do your research on where you're sending him to go train with. What is their track record of helping guys develop and get better? Don't jump at every first thing that somebody comes to you and says to you. Like, we want all our kids to be successful, but at the end of the day, it's the kid's journey, and the kid's got to want it more than the parent wants it. If you have to motivate your child to go to practice or go train or go to the weight room, he probably doesn't love baseball, right? But that's okay. That's okay, right? But you just have to understand, if you have to constantly ask your child and motivate your child to go train or go, do what he needs to do, or then it's probably not going to, competitive athletics at the next level is probably not in his forecast. So,
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense, man.
It's nobody wants to hear the truth, Ian. Okay. Because hard conversations have to be had. Right. I told a parent in my office, a couple years ago, like, your son is not an SEC caliber baseball player. He's a Division II baseball player who can go get his education. He's not going to be a professional athlete, okay, unless he just absolutely takes off. And he may, okay, but go get your education paid for, go play baseball, do something you love, and then start your life. Everybody wants to, all the parents want these kids, they think these kids are going to be pro athletes.
Yeah,
you know
man.
how hard it is to be a pro athlete? It's virtually almost nearly impossible in baseball. 0.1%, I think, is the number. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you've been it. But
Wow.
You could still go play 4 years of college baseball, get an education, go start your life, right? Set yourself up for the rest of your life. Baseball is not who you are. Baseball is what you do. Okay. It doesn't define who you are as a person. You understand?
100%.
But it teaches you so many.
Get wrapped up in it.
Yeah, it teaches you so many life lessons, though, doesn't it?
It's crazy, man.
Failure, perseverance, discipline, work ethic. Tough times, great times. It teaches you so much brotherhood, bond, friendships, relationships, all of that. It's unbelievable what it can
And
teach you.
oftentimes, man, we are so just not here. We get caught up in all the buzz and the noise, and we're looking ahead and stuff. We don't even realize how fortunate we are. Even if we don't make it pro, man, right? The kind of lessons and just the insight that we're getting and we're learning now, and we're building towards the future. I know I didn't. Right, I'm counting my blessings now after I'm done playing. I'm like, dude, this game was getting me prepared for just everything in life. I didn't even know it. Right, the only thing that I saw was just baseball at the time. We get so caught up in it.
Parents need to
Wild.
stop. Parents need to stop giving so much and making their kids earn instead of give. Right? You need to make your kids earn something instead of always giving. You
I
understand?
like
Does that
that.
make sense? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
another $500 glove for this season. Another,
Correct.
$120 worth of batting gloves for this week. Man,
Right.
I get it.
What'd you do to earn it? Did you do your chores around the house? Did you cut grass? Did you go wash cars? I mean, what'd you do to earn it? Like, stop giving. We give too much to these kids already. Like, make them earn so they have an appreciation for the value of the things that they have.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking my language, man.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking my language. I love that. Fitz, last question I got for you, man. I appreciate you letting me run you through the gauntlet here of questions, man. So you've won 5 straight. We've alluded to this just being the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
right? What's next, man? What does the future look like for your program? How do you continue building on this momentum?
Well, obviously, with anything, you only stay at the top for so long, right? Before you eventually have a fall off. But again, we're in a very good baseball community. We're always going to be talented and competitive. Our incoming freshman group is going to be really good. We got some really good, solid returning guys back. So, for me, the goal is always to win the last game, right? Every year, that's the goal. I need to find out where we are in the fall and what our team's going to look like in the fall, because every year you have to structure your team based around the personnel that you have, right? So if we're going to be more of a small ball speed oriented team, then that's what we're going to focus on in the fall. If I got some guys that come in and they're going to be some thumpers, then that's what we're going to be in the fall. So I have to see what we got in the fall to really understand the direction that the program wants to go. But the system doesn't change. The system doesn't change. It might need to be modified a little bit, tailored to what we are as a team. And then the next thing is I got to find out the personality of the team, right? So I think once you find out and get a hold of the personality of the team, then you can really do some really good things within your ball club and within your organization.
Love that, man.
So
Fitz, I'm grateful for you being here. It's clear, man, why your program stands apart, dude, right? Not just championships, but a culture of excellence. Thank you, man, for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your insights and pulling back the curtain for the next generation, man. I am grateful for you.
thanks, brother. I got a question for you, though.
Please.
So you remember when we first met or talked on the phone? And when
Yes, I do.
we were introduced by, I can't remember who introduced us, but anyway, when I told you about our program, did you really believe in what I was telling you, or you were like, I don't know, I got to see it to believe it? Like, did you really understand what I was talking about? Like when I said, like, we're really, yeah, like,
I did not. To be completely honest with you, Fitz, I really did not, and
right,
it didn't necessarily start hitting me until probably we were about halfway through, our off season kind of program, where every kid, every player that I talked to, every parent I talked to behind the scenes, all had the same verbiage. They all had the same goal. They all had the same mission, and I'm like, oh wait, okay, so this is different. So this
right,
is a little bit different here, dude. You know what I mean?
right,
And that's when it kind of started like hitting me a little bit.
right. Well, like I
That
said,
makes sense.
you are a big part of that, and look forward to getting it back started when we go back to school again. And I think the more that you can impart your knowledge and your stuff and your stories, and having your guys come on, your pitching guys and your hitting guys. And man, it is so valuable. I can't even tell you how grateful we are. We are, and myself, obviously, but for having you part of this with us, because I'm telling you, man, you had some influence on some guys, and that means a lot. And like I said, anything I can do to help our guys be a little bit better than the rest, and that's what we're going to do. So,
Amen. I appreciate you, Fitz.
yes,
Thank
sir.
you for the time. To every coach, player, every parent watching this, this is what championship baseball looks like on the field, off the field. Subscribe for more episodes, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys, for being here. Keep grinding.